Hey guys, I got another video for you. Wanted to do a video on some of the stoves that I've used over the past, I don't know, close to 8 years since I really got serious into backpacking again, since when I was in my early 20s. So I've done a lot, used a lot of stoves out in the woods. So one of the first ones that I got was this here Esbit solid fuel cube stove. These stoves they pop open. They just set up. The fuel cube goes inside there. It's kind of got a little windscreen style. You can pop it all the way open. It's not a bad little stove. I mean, it's okay. It's not fantastic. But, you know, it does a great job. It's not super heavy. I do got a scale. I'll weigh some of the stuff up for you. Let you know what this kind of weights we get on these things. So, weight in grams on this stove, 87 grams. So, not a bad stove. These are the fuel cubes it takes, the solid fuel cubes. They're white, they're in 4 pieces. A lot of people say they smell like fish when they burn. I don't know, I don't get it. I don't smell fish when they burn at all. The only thing I don't like about these is you can't regulate the burn time on them. It's like basically once you light them, they're lit. They burn the whole time. So, I mean, you can put them out, but it just turns into a mess. They stick into the bottom, you put it out, you can't get it out of there. It's like permanent until you burn it completely out. So, this was actually my first stove that I first started using. This actually was military surplus style stove when I was into military surplus camping and backpacking, which was a lot of fun. Just that stuff's really heavy, so I switched out. But yeah, that's the one of the Esbit stoves. You can see it there. So the next Esbit stove that I got was this here. They call this the 3-piece cook set. Comes in a black bag. Esbit. This set's pretty nice. It's got handles on it. It's a nice little set. Of course, again, it's not super light. It's pretty stout. Comes in at 233 grams. So quite a bit more than the other stove, but it's 3-piece. It's got a lid, and it's got a base where you put the fuel cube. So you take the base out, and the base looks like that. It's got a little opening. It's basically holds the pot, holds the fuel cube in there, and it sits up pretty easily. I mean, it's not a bad little setup. You can kind of see it here. I really like this setup, and I've read a few things online about it, is people using this as a twig burner also. So if you run out of fuel cubes, you can build a little twig fire in there. It does have these little plastic legs on the bottom. I haven't done it with mine, but I would imagine if you get it really hot that those are probably going to deform, melt, possibly. But, you know, it's not bad. This is I believe they call it a 500 or a 450 cup that it holds, but it's nice. It's got the handles, so it's not a bad little stove. It's pretty legit. I mean, for most applications that people are going to need, you know, I only boil water. I don't cook food in my pots. I never ever cook food in my pots. I don't want to have to scrub them out in the field. I don't want to have that extra mess. Everywhere I go is bear country, so we're not cleaning pots and dumping food and scrubbing stuff out. It's just, I don't think that's the wise thing to do. So if that's what you're into, cooking inside the pot. The fuel cubes are tough because you can't regulate the temperature either. So it's a choice that you make. So then when I got into ultralight, I got this setup right here. So this is a Toaks titanium. I believe they just call this a cup. It's like their 450 cup. It's made by Toaks. It's a pretty nice little cup. This thing is super lightweight. The cup itself And my whole kit is inside there. So I've got this little tiny titanium Esbit stove. Now you want to talk about lightweight. This thing right here is lightweight. It just sets up and you put your pot on it like that. It's pretty legit. I also carry just a piece of regular old aluminum foil. This is my windscreen that I set around. So, I mean, this is a pretty lightweight setup. Let's get a weight on it. So the little Esbit stove weighs 13 grams. So that's pretty darn light. And the Toaks titanium cup with the lid weighs in at 90 grams. So the total weight for the whole setup, including my windscreen, 108 grams. So that's about as lightweight as you can get. I mean, this is a nice stove. It's just basic, plain, no frills, no spills. That's just all it is. It just folds up, pop it inside the cup, put the lid on, and you're good to go. I mean, that's nice. I boil water in here, put it in my oatmeal, and keep the rest of the water over for my coffee. So it's a nice little stove. So what I've really gotten into now is this is still kind of an ultralight setup. So I went with the Toaks titanium again. This is the 500 milliliter cup with lid. I believe they call this one the ultralight cup. It's a little thinner than the other one. And my new stove, this is a canister stove setup. As you can see, I got in this whole setup, you can get the stove, the canister, and nestled underneath the canister is a mini Bic. So the mini Bic goes in, the canister goes in. I got my hot lips for the edge of my cup because I drink my coffee out of it. This little stove, which I'm going to talk to you about in a second, slips right in there, and then the lid fits almost perfectly on top. I mean, if you put it in the bag, you're good to go. But that's the whole kit. And this whole kit, I want to just weigh it all up, including the canister, which the canister, this one's about half full. So 242 grams. That's not bad. That's pretty nice. I mean, this cup, like I said, this is the titanium. I believe they call this one the ultralight. I think there's two 500s. So this is the 500 ultralight cup by Toaks. It's definitely light. This cup itself only weighs 69 grams. So, 69 is our favorite number. So that's right on the head. We like that. Perfect. So the stove that goes with this, I had just an Amazon stove before, and this one's Amazon. This one's the BRS 3000T. And the T, of course, stands for titanium because everything's got to have titanium if you're going to backpack with it. That's part of being a backpacker is you have to love titanium. So it's a pretty nice, really small little stove. Of course, it's got your what I call the throttle control. It just screws right on top of the canister. I mean, this stove is lightweight. This thing is 25 grams. So this thing on Amazon is, I believe today, about 17 bucks, $16.95. Comes with your little storage bag, which of course is not necessary, but we all bring them. So that's my new setup that I'm going to be running this year. And the reason why I'm switching off the Esbit cubes, and I've been on Esbit for a long time, and I've loved the Esbit because it's lightweight. It's easy. I'm not a thru hiker, so I'm a kind of a typical weekend warrior. Friday through Sunday, sometimes 4-day weekends, Friday to Monday. I can carry enough cubes in the stove to last me the whole time. I mean, I heat up my coffee in the morning, and I heat up my dinner in the evening, but I typically just eat protein bars or Spam singles or something for lunch. So I don't use it. I don't use my stove for lunch, so these are some nice little setups. I saw this on one of my hiking channels. I forget who was running it, but that's where I got the idea. I actually picked up, this is a stand that you can get. It folds up, and it's kind of cool if you're on uneven ground, and you can snap your gas cylinder into it, and it holds it straight up. I mean, this gives you really good balance. It doesn't have a whole lot of adjustability, but it really stabilizes the whole entire setup. So it's you know, it adds some weight. It's not too heavy. It's made out of plastic. So, and the weight on this little stand right here is 28 grams. So for my new setup, I got my stand. It goes in the bottom of the bag. Then I got my 500 cup, my mini Bic, goes right in the bottom. Fuel canister goes right on top. Then my little stove, and I've been keeping it in the bag. I guess I could take it out. I just didn't want to break the parts. Put my Hot Lips in there because I like drinking out of my cup. Hot Lips are great for, you know how hot this titanium gets when it's on, comes out the stove. It's too hot to drink out of. And just tuck the little stove in the side there and slap the lid on. And there you go. Comes in the little, everything fits right into the bag that Toaks gives you with your cup when you buy it. So it's a pretty good deal. You know, one contained unit. It's not, I mean, it's ultralight, I guess, compared to what you want to do. Like I said, the whole thing, 282 grams with the cover. So this is going to be my new setup. That's what I'm going to run most of the time this year. I'm going to do some crazy ultralight trips where I'm not going to even take a stove, and I'm not going to take a whole lot of food. So the challenge is going to be is that we're going to go out, we're going to take food, but it's going to be like protein powder food, meal replacement powders. So there'd be no cooking, no need to bring a cook stove. All you got to do is bring glass to mix everything in, rinse it out. You can seriously cut a lot of weight and a lot of hassle of not having to cook. Of course, you're going to be eating the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but it can be done. So I'm going to probably video one of those trips, and I'll have some future videos, show you what kind of gear I'm bringing. I got some ultralights, a lot of ultralight stuff. I really got into the ultralight. I've got, you know, some of my old school stuff too. So some trips are a blend, some are just strictly ultralight, but we'll get into that in the next videos. See ya.